This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We are broadcasting live, as always, from the KFAB Penthouse Studios high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. We are brought to you, thank you very much, by Dingman's Collision Center for metro area locations, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. Without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is a legendary real estate deal maker from NAI NP Dodge, and he's here in the flesh, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning, Trenton. It was a busy week here in Omaha. We want to congratulate our future mayor of the city. John Ewing Jr. is mayor-elect after Tuesday's election. We also want to congratulate 6 of the 7 existing city council members who were reelected. They are Brinker Harding, Don Rowe, Amy Melton, Danny Begley, and Pete Festerson, along with Ron Hugg. And then we will have one new city council member, Lavanya Goodwin. She defeated former city councilman Ben Gray. Those two were in a race to replace current city council member Juanita Johnson, who didn't make it through the primary. But with all that election stuff, too, Trenton, I do want to give a shout out to our current mayor, Jean Stothert, who has served for 12 years. Didn't have a great night on election night, but she had a great 3 terms leading our city.
And not to mention 4 years before that on the city council. She was my city council person. And
mine, too.
She put me on the planning board and 2014 to 19, and it was a fun run. And I can't say enough great things about our friend Jean Stothert. She's been on this show many times. She gives us kudos and says that this is the source of a lot of her news, and we really appreciate everything that she's done. And what's interesting is all these projects she started, she may not be cutting the ribbon, but I hope she shows up and with her head high, and she'll be part of our community forever. And she's been an incredibly effective mayor, and John Ewing has been in public service for a long time, and he deserves everyone's support, and we all want to see Omaha do great things. And this isn't about partisan politics. This is about growing Omaha. It's the nature of this show, and it'll be interesting to see. And we're cautiously optimistic. I am anyway, and I think that John Ewing will have a lot of good people around him, and let's give him our support and let him be an effective mayor.
Yeah, we'll invite future Mayor Ewing onto the show. We'll probably wait until late summer or fall, give him a chance to get situated, but we'll definitely invite him onto the show so we can talk deeply about economic development, construction, growth and development, all the things that Grow Omaha Nation really cares about. And I would say here, there's a pretty good chance you could hear soon-to-be former Mayor Stothert as a guest co-host from Grow Omaha. We're going to put her on the co-host list, so that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, it should be fun.
All right. Well, congratulations to all of the election winners and to all of you who did win. You 7 city council members and Mayor-elect Ewing, we wish you the best, and please remember, one of the most important things that you must do in your elected position is keep Omaha growing forward. One of the things that's really important when it comes to growth and development is to never take your foot off the gas pedal. Trenton, a lot of people know that I have a business in which I do sales training for a lot of different companies and actually all over the world. And every once in a while, I'll be dealing with a head of sales or chief sales officer or whatever. And sometimes they'll say to me, every once in a while I'll get a message from the operations side of the business that says, hey, slow down, you're selling too much, and we're having a hard time keeping up. And
production or whatever.
Fulfilling, yeah. And it's a common problem, when things are going well and you're signing a lot of deals, a lot of times production or operations has a hard time keeping up. And they ask me, what do you think? And I say, well, without getting into the politics of your own company, I could tell you this. I wouldn't take your foot off the gas, because the moment you take your foot off the gas in a company, when it comes to sales, you start a chain reaction that will eventually lead to decreased revenue and some layoffs. And so I always say to people, even if the operations side are mad at you, keep selling hard. And I would say that for the city of Omaha. We've got a lot of cranes in the air. The local philanthropic business and political leaders have done a great job. Do not take your foot off the gas.
We don't want to change the name of our show to Stagnant Omaha. That's for damn sure.
Really, we don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the other thing, when it comes to what you just said about take your foot off the gas, when it comes to production, if you're in a manufacturing business, which I know nothing about, but you got to have the product on the shelf too, whether it's your sales team, whether it's service hours, whatever it is. So I would say that don't take your foot off the gas, but at the same time, you got to work with your company to keep the product on the shelf. If not, you're going to look really bad if you can't produce and have huge delays.
You're such a peacemaker.
You got it.
All right, with that, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport, just south of Dodge. Whether you call them, whether you email them, or whether you stop in, there's something that you need to know. They do an outstanding job with you getting your piece of the American dream. It is prime home buying season right now here in May. And if you're thinking about getting a new house or even starting the process, one of the first things you want to do is meet with an Eagle Mortgage, a loan originator. They will sit down with you, figure out your situation, talk to you about the options. You want to have a pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage before you start looking for a house. And keep in mind, they are not a bank. They shop a variety of banks on your behalf. eaglemortgagecompany.com, or like I said, 114th and Davenport. Well, first up on the news today, Trenton, In Common Community Development celebrated a groundbreaking of the Poppleton. That's an affordable housing development located along the Park Avenue neighborhood corridor at Poppleton Street, appropriately enough. This will be a 121-unit mixed-income, mixed-use development, and it will help provide a solution to our affordable housing shortage, which is a very serious problem. There have been estimates lately that in the Omaha Council Bluffs metro area, we have a shortage of almost 79,000 affordable housing units, and that gap is expected to grow by 2040 to 104,000.
We got to get ahead of that.
So at any rate, that will be a nice project. Phase one of this building has started. Groundwork is underway. It will be 51 of those 121 units. And that phase one is expected to be open in 2026. So construction should move pretty fast there. Well, the Bellevue Good Life District is the area where that Bellevue Bay Water Park is under construction, and that will be a 100,000 square foot water park. And when it opens in 2027, will be the fourth largest indoor water park in America. Projections are that it will attract 600,000 visitors annually. We've got some news, though, about that district. There are now lots available for sale, 4 shovel-ready commercial lots that range anywhere from 6.73 acres all the way up to almost 33 acres are now available. Our colleagues at NAI NP Dodge actually have that listed for sale, but I think it's a good sign that that district is moving forward and these lots are available. My guess is you're going to see a lot of interest from hotels, restaurants, entertainment businesses, and who knows what else.
Absolutely. And that water park, it's going to be huge. It's definitely a liquid business, and let's hope it holds water.
The park will, in addition to being the fourth largest indoor water park in America, will also have a major outdoor component as well. So don't worry. If it's a beautiful summer day, you don't have to be inside. By the way, it'll also have a retractable roof. This is kind of cool. Heartwood Preserve, that's the development on the old farmland west of Boys Town, was once part of Boys Town. It's being developed by Applied Underwriters. You'll recall that they were going to salvage a barn, one of the historical barns that was part of that farm. But as it turned out, it just didn't work out. I believe there was something with the structural integrity, and the barn had decayed to some extent. But now, according to a building permit, plans called to construct a new 3,400 square foot barn structure that will be there, and it will be an event venue to preserve a little bit of history.
So they still have the silo, too.
Yeah, the silo was moved over to the freeway exit from the West Dodge Expressway, right to the north of Valmont's global headquarters. So downtown, north downtown to be, actually kind of downtown, right on the riverfront to be exact, site work and ground construction is well underway on the future two-story streetcar vehicle maintenance facility. We call this the VMF for short, but this is where they'll actually repair the streetcars, service them, work on them. I don't know, change the oil.
Take the gum off the bottom of the seats.
Whatever you have to do to keep them nice and clean and operating. This will be on a small portion of the CHI Health Center's parking lot A. The facility is located really close to an existing OPPD substation and really in the shadow of the Interstate 480 bridges. Now, the entrance to Lot A had to be reconfigured to accommodate this site. The facility will maintain the 6 streetcars that will run on our 3.3-mile route connecting the riverfront, Old Market, downtown, Midtown Crossing, and, of course, the Blackstone District, and eventually University of Nebraska Medical Center. Don't know how long exactly it'll take, but I imagine it'll be probably at least a year before that's up and running. And if I remember correctly, I believe there will also be some office space in there as well. But you got to have a place to take care of these things if you're going to run them.
It's amazing how much construction. You got 4 huge projects over at Creighton. You've got the vehicle maintenance facility here. You've got the tower going up for Mutual of Omaha. They're finishing the second building at the Holland Center.
That would be the Tenaska Center for Arts Engagement.
Yes, it would. And then you've got all the new style projects, the Duo, the Twin Towers there. And then they've got 2 more projects they're supposedly doing, and it's crazy. And then the Children's Museum will come out of the ground. So definitely the plate is full, and we could always use more.
Well, you mentioned all of that construction. Just by the VMF, the Vehicle Maintenance Facility, are a couple of the projects that you mentioned. So in one little cluster right there around the 480 viaduct, you'll have the aforementioned vehicle maintenance facility, a parking garage that will be owned by the city of Omaha, the Children's Museum that Trenton mentioned, and the Beam, which is going to be a 16-story apartment building that New Style is doing, literally all in that cluster. So that's just a subset of all of those projects that you mentioned under the fire.
We haven't even gotten to
under the 480 bridge.
We haven't even gotten to Millward Commons, the parking garage over there, the new apartments going up, the Dizzy Mule. They just keep coming, and there's a reason for that. Is we got a vibrant community, and there's demand.
So you mentioned one of those projects was the Mutual of Omaha headquarters tower, and we can report that the sheer tower core that will contain the elevators and stairwells of the future skyscraper went up another level yesterday. And so that building is now right about 34 stories tall, at least in the center core. That means height-wise, it is getting very, very close to meeting and passing the height of the Woodman Tower. Probably will pass the Woodman sometime in the next couple to few weeks. Now, it might not look like it at first because keep in mind, the Woodman actually sits probably 40 to 50 feet higher than the base of the Mutual Omaha building because of that hill's pretty steep. So it'll take a little longer before it looks taller on, the distant horizon. But probably in a couple weeks, the new building will pass the Woodman.
So it'll have 10 more stories.
And plus the crown on the top. So that's coming along pretty nicely. Hey, another couple quick construction projects before we wrap up this first segment. The former KFC fast food restaurant in Midtown will soon be home to a Bank of America branch office. It'll be about a 4,300 square foot building at 43rd and Dodge. That thing is really coming along. We've had a lot of Grow Omaha listeners say, what are they building there? It's a Bank of the West branch office just north of the Med Center. And another project that people ask us about quite a bit would be the northeast corner of 180th and West Maple Road. And there are a couple things there. You will notice a 2-story steel superstructure that is under development. That is an Ortho Nebraska facility, Ortho Nebraska's West Maple Clinic. And then also a little bit closer to 180th, there is a retail complex under construction. I believe the only tenant that has been announced publicly for that is Smoothie King, but one would presume there are several others that are being close to announced.
Well, you got all those Elkhorn schools just to the north. Those kids can walk there and get a smoothie.
And I'm sure a lot of them will. And with that, we're going to conclude your Eagle Mortgage development news of the week. Going to take our first break. And when we come back, we are going to be talking about new City of Omaha population stats. The city added some people. And we're talking about the city limits. We're not talking the metro area. So this is just released data from the U.S. Census Bureau. We'll talk about a few other things as well. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. We'll be right back after this on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Have you been to a city barbecue?
To what?
City barbecue?
Is that a brand?
Yeah, it's a brand. They were on Fox this morning, and I was listening to it. But
I don't think so.
they got what do they call it? Brew. Brisket. They call it brisket. They must put beer and brisket together.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Sounds good. Do you get my email for the invite for the new gacho?
Yes, and then I got the actual RSVP, so
So did you already get one? And they sent you another one? Because Jeff and I got invited, and I'm going to be in D.C., so I said, can Jen and Chris Corey come? And she said, absolutely. We'll send them a digital invitation. Have you seen a digital invitation of it?
Yeah.
We forwarded it to me. I don't know if I
Sure.
even got one.
Sure.
But
It says I'm not supposed to forward it to anyone.
okay. Well, I'm invited, but I re-gifted mine to you.
I appreciate it.
But it might have been, you might have already been on the list, and so I don't know.
Oh,
He is an accomplished food critic in this town.
I'll check.
Yeah. So if you read the email,
Eagle
if
Mortgage.
you read the email that I sent you, and Jen, it tells the story.
Okay. I don't know if I saw that email. I'll check. I'll check.
We'll
Are
sit,
you guys going? Are you going?
I RSVP'd.
we are, so we'll sit by you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or just forward it because Jeff got it at news@growmo.com, didn't you? And he doesn't share that shit with me.
Well, I had my name on it.
Last I checked,
You're not Jeff Beals. It said Jeff Beals.
Joan has been a tenant of ours for like 25 years in the building I handle. So I would.
That's great, but I just said to my name, so that's
Thanks, Jeff.
I said Jeff Beals was invited.
Perfect. He cherry picks those fuckers. Like,
But do you get invited to a lot of things, or?
oh yeah, I don't even know about. Hey, I went to the opening of this last week.
Sometimes they'll say, and whatever you do, don't invite
We got
Trent.
We got free swag bags.
Don't tell
Oh,
Trent
I gotta put this. I gotta put this on my.
Don't feed the Trenton.
I gotta put this on my list of grievances for the.
for your future Festivus.
No, for the.
For Thursday. Thursday's coming up quick.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Making your ass working, baby.
I'm gonna probably dedicate most of tomorrow to pulling video. And
Doesn't it make sense though to videotape the event?
I think so. Yeah.
And then we can always erase it if it's like something's too controversial or Jeff says the wrong thing.
Remember, we only have 3 to 5 minutes.
That's gonna go by. It goes by so fast when you're up there doing something like that.
So you have 6 to 10 minutes because it's 2 of you up there all together.
Yeah, I just need to figure out with Brad how we're gonna
30
split
seconds.
it.
You sure you guys don't want to go last? Because like if you're doing some video, it might be better to put Scott in the middle. He's not going to use your jokes. He doesn't know the stuff that you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about Scott.
I hope not. Whatever you think's best. Yeah.
10 seconds,
I
boys.
think if you guys do a video, that might be kind of a grand finale.
I'd love to catch a whole bunch of them where I get you at any rates.
Jeff
We do
gets
like
the
a counter
invites
on it or
and
something. At any rate.
Drinking game.
And that was from one show.
I said it in the last segment.
I know.
said at any
Every
rate.
time you hear it, I'm like, ding.
Someone's like, drink.
I should have been flagging them for like the last 4 weeks.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Maggot here in the KFAB studio. Glad you have joined us today. Thank you to Cheer Athletics, along with Dingman's Collision Center, for making this possible. Cheer Athletics is the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym, and that sport is really gaining in popularity, going to be an Olympic sport in 2028. There are only 15 cheer athletics in the world, because they are in more than one country. But one of those 15 is right here in Omaha, Highways 50 and 370 in Papillion, and we highly recommend it. And then Dingman's has 4 metro area locations. They are the consistent Best of Omaha award winner for auto body. Do such a nice job. They also have mechanical services as well. Hey, we want to give a shout out to the Papillion Tower District. This is a development, appropriately enough, in the shadow of the iconic Papillion Water Tower, the one with the Papillion butterfly on it, northeast of 84th and Highway 370. And Trenton, we have a list of tenants or business occupants that are confirmed for that project.
Yeah, Jesse Calabretto and his partners do a good job up there.
Yeah, so I'll say these and these new tenants or occupants, and then you can give us your thoughts on what you think. The first one, this will come as a surprise to a lot of you, but Starbucks Coffee is going to come join that center. There's got to be a Starbucks or a Scooters at each center.
I've heard of that. I call it $8.
Starbucks,
Yeah.
$8. Really? I usually get stuff there for about $5 or $6.
Okay.
You're ordering too fancily. Next one, Panera Bread, another place where you can get coffee for $8.
Yeah.
Casey's, the convenience store, Pinnacle Bank, AutoZone, and Green Slate Credit Union. That's what we have so far in the Tower District in Papillion.
Boy, those are exciting.
Well, I was expecting a little more analysis from you so that I could use the time to go pick up the next thing I was going to talk about.
Well, I'll tell you what, you work on that, and it's going to be a nice development. What's neat about this development is that it's heavily residential. So there are going to be a lot of things in walking distance. So all those services, they definitely are popular, and people are going to use those services. And so it'll be very nicely landscaped. It's been a long time. There's been a couple of developers who have tried to do it, and Jesse Calabretto is pulling it off, and the infrastructure is darn near in, I believe.
Yeah, they have a lot of streets. A lot of the streets are there, and the Starbucks, last time I was there, looked like it was getting pretty close. It would be the first thing to open there, but the other stuff, they still have to get that construction started. Well, let's go get into that other thing I wanted to mention, and that is U.S. Census Bureau information. So when it comes to population, the Census Bureau releases data in batches. And back in March, we got county population numbers for the entire country. And when you have county population numbers, you then have metro area population numbers, because all metro areas are basically a accumulation of a certain number of designated counties. And that was when we said the Omaha metro area for the first time ever surpassed 1 million people, 1,001,010 to be exact. Real nice growth from 23 to 24. That's the other thing. There's always a delay. Like, we're just getting July of 24 numbers right now. Well, this week, the Census Bureau released for municipalities of 20,000 people or greater, so cities. So this is in the city population.
Proper.
Yeah, city proper, not metro area. So from 23 to July of 24, that 1 year period, the city of Omaha grew by 2,485 people. That's a growth rate, though, of just barely over 0.5%. Not great. The population inside the city limits as of July 1st, 2024, official estimate is 489,265. compared to 486,000 some the year prior. The problem is Omaha has now dropped to the 41st largest city. We had been number 39, so we've dropped a couple spots. We're just behind Kansas City, which is number 38, Raleigh, North Carolina, which is number 39, and Colorado Springs, which is number 40. Now, the cities just behind us, number 42 is Miami, number 43 is Virginia Beach, and number 44 is Long Beach.
And where are we with our metropolitan, with that million people? Where are we ranked on MSAs?
If I remember correctly, I think it was 58th or something like that. Now, the metro area population matters a lot more. For instance, I just said that Miami is a smaller city than Omaha. Well, the Miami metro area probably has close to 5 million people, and that's what really matters. There is some significance, though, to the city limits because you still want to see the central city growing and developing. Ours slowed down in the years right after the pandemic. Like a lot of large cities, we slowed down. The other thing that's a little bit odd for Omaha, I don't believe the Census Bureau adequately understands or probably even cares about our sanitary improvement sanitary improvement district system of development. A lot of cities.
They don't count the SADs because they're not incorporated into the city yet.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. Yeah, so they don't. But I don't think they understand that that's future Omaha growth and how that all works. Because a lot of times they tend to underestimate our growth. And then when the census comes out, the city's a lot bigger than you thought. But a lot of cities will take land and then develop. In Omaha, we use the SID system, so they don't become part of the city for a few years to sometimes 20, 30 years. And so it's a different thing. So don't be worried, Omaha only grew by 2,500 people. If you count the SID growth on the city perimeter, it's looking really, really good. That said, we've got to focus on continuing to get more density in the core.
What did you say about statistics?
35% of them are made up.
Or is it 37%?
No, I think it's 35.
This is.
Don't get in an argument with
this
me
is
over
maybe
this.
You'll call this a tangent, but this reminds of for decades and decades, AC Nielsen, when they're doing like TV show ratings and everything else, they didn't count like bars and restaurants and public venues where people were watching these shows. Like,
yeah.
It's not just the control thing we put on people's TVs and ask them to fill out the form.
Like sporting events inside a bar would be a huge
Exactly.
part. Yeah. Well, that's a related tangent.
Thank you.
Yeah. So at any rate, city of Omaha growing and healthy, but the metro area is growing at a much faster pace. All right. That means it is time for our middle of the show break. We're going to have our news, but when we come back, we have our Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight and so much more. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
I like how you put those two together, like the Dingmans and Cheer. Like you talked about both of them, like just
this time
more briefly, but then we mentioned them each time, so they get good exposure.
we love Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center, don't we? Gotta take a bathroom break.
What do you got for Noddle?
Poppy's Mexican restaurant in Interrail has opened a second location at at Nebraska Crossing, which means that it's good that the Interrail food hall incubator thing is working.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you're gonna leave us alone with the trim.
Yeah, I trust you too.
Do you get a haircut?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Where do you go? Listen to that for dogs?
What's that?
Pet shop?
It's a pet shop. That's right. No, Jen's been cutting my hair for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like,
What does she use?
Clippers.
Is she licensed?
No.
Is it legal? You remember what the Flowbee was?
That made a comeback during the pandemic.
You hook it up to your vacuum. Bill, you know what a Flowbee is?
I do not.
I knew a guy, Phil Green, who I don't know if they still use it or not, but it's an attachment. You hook up, so you got the suction from a vacuum cleaner, and you just roll it over your kid's hair, your husband's hair, whatever, and cut. True, look it up.
Seriously?
Floby.
Never heard.
And
Seriously, I was making it was like an 80s thing.
when
Late 80s,
COVID started, I went and it took me a while to find one, but I got a Remington.
Yeah.
And I can do it myself, but it takes a while. But Amy can go in there and, it's a 0 blade, so it's. What do you use?
I use it too myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like straight around, or do you?
Oh, like where do I go for a haircut?
You do it yourself. It sounds
No,
like.
I don't do it myself. I go to a place called Lady Jane's mostly because my barber, who has been my hair cutter for 10 years, works there. So I go to Diana.
So wait, we learned that your relative is who? Recently, we learned.
Oh, we didn't. His Lisa Ryder.
Yeah, Lisa Reeder.
Reader. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my aunt.
Yeah.
How do you guys know her?
Oh, well,
We've been to several parties with her.
yeah.
Whose friends was she originally? Matt?
I mean,
What's her husband's name, Matt?
her daughter works in radio too, but
Yeah, Megan.
yeah,
It's Lisa and
John.
John.
good people.
Yeah.
What does she do?
She's a hairdresser and a stylist.
We
She has her
gossiping
own-
about people.
And that is which parent's sister?
That'd be my grandmother. I don't know.
Oh, this is your aunt?
Yeah, she's my aunt.
Great aunt?
No, she's my aunt. You look stunned.
Is it your dad's sister or your
No,
mom's
it's my
sister?
mom's sister.
There you go.
Okay.
Where'd you
Who's
go up-
Bill related?
Where'd
to?
you come up with your grandmother?
I don't know.
You said my grandmother.
You flustered him.
You were talking about who she's related to. I'm like, my grandmother? I didn't know you knew my aunt.
Who's your aunt?
Lisa.
Lisa,
Even to our
who's
parties,
Lisa?
Lisa
Reader.
Reeder.
She got like jet black hair.
Jet black hair. Her husband's kind of stocky,
Yeah.
really happy guy.
Yeah,
Don't know
nice
her.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's lovely though.
You would probably recognize.
Sure she's lovely.
Well, of course, I feed you a lot of drinks, so you may not remember everything.
How did you guys?
Sazeracs.
How'd you guys meet her?
Sazeracs.
Sazeracs,
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet her?
She lives in our old neighborhood, Shadow Lake, and we're friends with their neighbors across the street.
Oh, okay.
We were hanging out at their house, and they came over, and we all hit it off. And now, whenever we do a party, we invite everybody. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Cool.
We're going to, this is how sausage gets made. We're going to put a social media post on the Grow Omaha Facebook page during the news break. For Ollie's, a new discount retailer coming to town.
You know, I can't post in advance right now.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just all my meta stuff for Grow Omaha went away.
Oh,
Thank you, Dave. It's 53 in Omaha, 52 in Council Bluffs, and 56 in Lincoln. The Grow Omaha show will continue in about 2.5 minutes here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
you haven't mastered your crawl imitation yet.
Yeah.
That was like a weird noise. I didn't know they talked to that way.
You should do a fox.
In heat, in our backyard. Every once in a while, the fox in heat.
Fox in
It is like it's like somebody's getting murdered.
I've never heard
Captain
this.
Random Man strikes again.
Just jealous.
Goes from my aunt to
Sound of fox
talking about
mating.
foxes in the heat. That's why you should watch Uncut, folks. This is the type of stuff you see.
That's right. It's riveting.
Working for Grow Omaha, it's not just a job, it's an adventure.
Oh my, they're dancing too.
Well, this is the dance, but
You're showing porn?
they're kissing now.
It's fox porn.
Kind of.
That's porn. Don't show that on Uncut. You get arrested.
There's so much fur you can't tell.
It's on YouTube.
That's porn. Just say no to porn.
That's right.
First. I'm sorry, folks. You should not be subjected to this.
If I can master this,
I'm embarrassed. I'm
Sounds like he's
so
getting it
sorry.
done, whatever he's doing.
this is nature, ladies and gentlemen. Here.
I'm embarrassed.
Sounds like he's putting in the time, that's for sure.
All right. If I can do that,
This is just wrong.
ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this because
This is just wrong.
when Bill does the weather, I might use animal sounds to try to distract him, and I think this might do it.
Fat chance. 30 seconds. Because I am a professional.
There is more than a slight chance that might make it into Thursday. if the audio comes out well.
Here, I'll send, let me see my head. I'll send it. I
don't need that in my feed.
I don't know. I cannot.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
You can dub the sound over.
Set on our free iHeartRadio app. So when severe weather strikes, we're just a click away.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Magid. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center along with Cheer Athletics. Well, without any further ado, it's time for your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, which is brought to you by Noddle Companies. They are the premier developer in town, and they do stuff even outside of town, all over the country, actually. But here in town, Noddle Companies is famous for Exarban Village, Builders District, Village Point Medical Center campus. You know, they've built so many marquee buildings. Like, for instance, HDR World Headquarters, Valmont World Headquarters. Those are both Noddle Company projects. They do an outstanding job. And you can find out more about Noddle Companies simply by going to a Facebook page or noddlecompanies.com. Well, during this segment, we pick one of Noddle Company's developments and we talk about things happening in or around it. And today we talk about the Interrail Food Hall. That is part of Exarban Village. Love Interrail. And got some good news. Poppy's Mexican Grill, which is located there, has decided to open and has opened a second location at Nebraska Crossing in Gretna. At Nebraska Crossing, Poppy's has taken the former Pepper Jack's space. But what I love about this is the whole Interrail Food Hall concept is to incubate restaurants and to get them started. And they're going to have two now. They're going to stay in the Interrail, but they have this one now at Nex. And so it's just good to see that spirit of the food hall is really working and companies are growing out of it and becoming very successful.
They've had a lot of successes at Interrail, at Exarban Village, and it's a great place to take the whole family because everybody can get their own thing.
Well, that is your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, and we thank Noddle for being a sponsor of the show. I want to give a shout out, a congratulations, if you will, to Midwest Laboratories. They celebrated their 50th anniversary this week. It was founded in 1975 by Dr. Ken Pullman, who unfortunately passed away within the last year. Great guy. It is now run by his son, Brent, and they have a 14-building campus near 136th and B Street. We also want to let you know that there is a new transportation article posted on growomaha.com by Eric Miller. He is our transportation writer. Been working in transit engineering for decades. And Eric, in this most recent article, talks about, hey, is there any legitimate chance that we could or should have some sort of light rail connection between downtown Omaha and downtown Lincoln? A lot of times when people hear us talking about the streetcar, they say, well, I should have rail all the way down to Lincoln. And so he addresses that. Does it make sense? Are there other options that would make more sense? I'm not going to tell you what he said because we want you to read the damned article, but you can find it at growomaha.com.
Or would it make more sense to have light rail from Elkhorn to downtown Omaha, because the population compared to Lincoln is a heck of a lot higher, wouldn't you say?
That's a very good question, but I'm not going to answer it for the aforementioned reason of wanting people to read the article on growomaha.com. But you bring up a very, very good point.
It's like I read it?
Even though we know you didn't.
That's so hurtful, Joe.
But true. The Greater Omaha Chamber and Scott Data, which is a nonprofit artificial intelligence solutions provider at Exarban Village, announced a strategic new partnership to position Omaha as the premier destination for AI innovation and adoption. This partnership is intended to accelerate the adoption of artificial intelligence by Omaha area businesses, particularly small and mid-sized companies along with startups. And this is going to be done through education, technical advising, and affordable access to advanced AI computing. Trenton, this initiative brings together the Chamber's Economic Development Leadership Team with Scott's established infrastructure. A lot of people don't know about this place, but this is, okay, if you can picture Exarban Village, you've got Mammal Hall, which is the College of Business for UNO, on the northwest corner of the intersection. You've got a residence hall on the northeast. You have a hotel, I believe it's a Courtyard or a Residence Inn on the southeast. Well, on the southwest corner is a very nondescript looking building with an awful lot of security around it.
A lot of strength, very thick walls.
Tornado
what's
proof.
Interesting is on the market, it shows 110,000 square foot for lease. So they've been advertising that secure data center for tenants. So I wonder if that changes things.
Maybe they just have excess capacity, perhaps, for more companies to store data there. I don't know that for sure.
Was it one of the biggest supercomputers or something in there at one time?
That would be really cool, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, let's just say breaking news, world's largest supercomputer is in Exarban Village.
Yeah.
Even though we don't know 100%.
Did you know that our website has food reviews on it?
Yes, because Chris Corey writes those, and I am the editor of said website.
Yeah. I like perusing that thing.
You should. You
Along
should do
with
it more
like
often.
48,000 other people, yeah.
You own half of it, so
That's
you should read our stuff more often.
Thanks, Chris.
So we also want to mention one other thing. Interestingly enough, it's right here in downtown Dundee, not far from KFAB. Pitch Pizzeria caught on fire last night. There was a fire that started in the exhaust hood and caused a lot of problems. It didn't destroy the building or anything like that, so Pitch will come back, but it will presumably be closed for a while. This is the Pitch at 51st and Underwood Avenue, and of course does not affect the Pitch in West Omaha near 180th Street. But you're probably not going to want to plan on having lunch or dinner at Pitch Dundee in the next few days.
Yeah, but when it comes back, everything will be fresh.
Well, and as Pitch said on their Facebook page this morning, we really are famous for having hot pizza, but I don't think they wanted it quite that hot. So we wish our best to Pitch as they clean up and repair after what is an unfortunate mess and a problem they probably didn't want to deal with. So with that, let's do our final break of the hour, and you know what that means. When we come back, it's time for the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round. I'm looking at the list. There's a lot of things on it. So stay with us. We're going to talk about it really fast. It will be your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round coming up right after this on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
I can't get those boxes. What's that? I kept walking out because I kept thinking about the. It's just.
You got to put that in the video.
You're a sick man.
Yeah.
They're getting after it, that's for sure.
They're getting after him. Getting after it. That is definitely one of my. Milt Tenneper, the Husker offensive lineman, used to always say that when talking about if his guys were ready to play, they'll get after him.
Yeah.
How's Nebraska going to be this year?
Should be better than last year.
That's the question. I think they'll be better.
I think we'll be better. Quarterback will be experienced.
How many coaches are we still paying off?
I think they're all paid off now, aren't
I
they?
would hope by now, yeah. But who knows?
Maybe Scott. And then Scott can complain about how hard it was again.
Oh, that guy. That
Is he
guy.
whining about something?
Well, he goes to this new job and he's like, "Oh, Nebraska's such a meat grinder." I'm like, well, you were paid $5 million to do it, and you chose to take the job. Get over it.
If it was a meat,
What a whiner.
God help you if you went to like LSU or
Yeah, you
some
think
of
it's
those.
bad here? Go to Ohio State.
Yeah, go or Michigan or.
Oh my God, what a whiner.
Yeah,
Yeah, how long did we give him? We gave
It's
him
really hard.
we gave him
How was he here,
5
Corey?
years.
Yeah.
4 and some change.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah, I think they fired him after that humiliating Georgia Southern loss in his 5th season.
Yeah, wasn't that like 3 games in now?
Yeah.
Season
3 games in or something.
Yeah.
So 4 seasons and 3 games or something like that. But
No, I remember saying,
the guy, yes, he was great that he was a star quarterback here, but not to be mean, but he was an abject failure.
I'd get in the ring with Mike Tyson for $5 million.
And he sits there and just whines the whole time. I'm like, dude, get over it.
These days I would too.
sometimes you just got to look in the mirror. I don't wish him ill, but it's also like
you don't.
But it was
on.
his fault.
If you're a
He's the reason he
if
was
you're
bad.
a college coach, or even whatever, you don't want young kids in school in the same city where you're coaching a team. Those poor kids.
That would be hard on those kids.
That'd be tough.
Oh, yeah.
Those kids, yeah.
All right, here we go, boys.
Really hard.
Or your kids can be hard on you, like high course.
Be nice. Be nice.
You're enjoying the weekend and the rapidly evolving news cycle. We'll be all over it Monday, KFAB's Morning News.
At Grow Omaha, we are all about that rapidly evolving news cycle, Gary, and we're excited to bring it to KFAB listeners. In fact, we are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center along with Cheer Athletics. But now it's time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, which is when we talk about a lot of things really fast. And Perkins Kreitzer Construction makes this possible. Who are they? Well, they are a top-notch Class A general construction contractor, and they do outstanding work. They do big buildings sometimes. I mean, we're talking office buildings, shopping centers, churches, anything that you could imagine. But we love it when Perkins Kreitzer Construction is doing some restaurant build-out projects because that fits in really nicely with the lightning round, and we've got 2 of them today. Perkins Kreitzer Construction will soon start building Wingstop, a quick-serve restaurant that sells buffalo wings. They plan to open a new store in a Cricket Wireless building at 365 Saddle Creek Road, just a little bit north of Dodge. So what's going to happen is Cricket will move to the back of the building. That will open up the front part of the building, which Wingstop will take. Perkins Kreitzer Construction plans to start renovations later this month. By the way, Wingstop has 9 existing locations. The other Perkins Kreitzer Construction restaurant build-out that we want to update you about is Jersey Mike's. They will eventually and soon be opening in Westwood Plaza. The exact address is 12327 West Center Road. It's a former Tide Dry Cleaners location. And the signage is now in place. So if you drive by and you're a Jersey Mike's fan and you think to yourself, oh my goodness, people kind of like my dad who can't wait for that store to open. Dad, you got to wait a little bit longer. The signage is up, but the store is not open, and that is yet another Perkins Kreitzer construction project. Ready for the rest of the list, Trenton?
Oh, yeah.
We have Baker's Candy's Chocolate Factory Outlet Store in Greenwood celebrating a grand opening May 23rd through 25th. This thing is 14,000 square feet. Baker's Candy's is claiming it'll be the largest chocolate outlet store in the world. Don't know if that's true or not, but sounds cool. Might be. 500 varieties of candy and snacks, and get a load of this. They'll have 18 flavors of Kool-Aid on tap for free.
Because it was from Hastings, Nebraska?
My guess is they're celebrating a Nebraska tradition, Nebraska-born Kool-Aid.
That's going to be a really sweet place to go to.
And a diabetic nightmare. 500 varieties of candy, and you can drink free Kool-Aid while you're there. Sign me up, I'd say, but I don't think my health would allow it. But it will be a very cool store.
Great company.
Picture looks awesome. So kudos to Baker's Candies.
When's it opening?
Well, like I said, May 23rd through 25th.
Excellent.
You should participate in the show more often.
Okay.
New store is coming to Sorensen Park Plaza. It's called Ollie's Bargain Outlet. The exact address is 6516 North 73rd Plaza. This is described as America's largest retailer of closeout merchandise and excess inventory. Get a load of this. They have 574 stores. And until this, I had never heard of it.
Is that the commercials you hear on TV?
Not sure.
Like, about the bargains and stuff like that? Yeah, it's painful.
It's Ollie's Bargain Outlet. They're based in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Closest existing locations are in Kansas City. And the slogan is good stuff cheap. All right, this is kind of cool. We had an organization called Pre-Versailles. and it is a prestigious architecture design award. They have recognized the 7 most beautiful new museum openings of the last year. They had 2 of them in the United States. The others were in other countries. The 2 U.S. ones, though, one of them included Joslin Art Museum, Omaha,
Well
Nebraska.
deserved. I've been through that new Schrager wing, and it's amazing.
Awesome, isn't it?
The artworks are fabulous, but the building structure and how unique it is, and it's free, ladies and gentlemen.
Pivot Prime, a French-inspired steakhouse from Lucky 11 Hospitality Group, will open May 23rd at 136th in California in the former Mahogany Prime building. Of course, Mahogany moved a little bit to the southwest. But this French-inspired place is supposed to be pretty good. It's from the same owners as Salted Edge.
I heard they put a lot of money into that and did it right, so I'm excited. It's going to be very upscale.
Can't wait to try it.
I'm going to wear real shoes.
Good Evans, a breakfast and lunch restaurant, plans to open its 3rd Omaha store this summer, probably late summer, I'm thinking, in the former Old Chicago space northeast of 144th and West Center Road. I don't think they've started renovations in there yet. Good Evans is from Kearney, Nebraska. They have 2 existing Omaha locations, 74th and Pacific and 204th and West Maple Road, and then 1 in Kearney and 1 in Lincoln.
Related to the same owners as Pepper Jacks.
Stories Coffee will soon open a location Monday morning at 156th and West Maple Road. They'll actually share the building with Williamsburg Pizza, but Williamsburg Pizza is still quite a ways behind. They got a lot of build-out still in their space. And then Hyper Energy Bar, a small coffee and infused energy drink chain from Urbandale, Iowa, is planning to open a new location in Elkhorn, southwest of 180th and Maple. 900 square foot building, drive-through similar to a Scooters or Starbucks.
Double drive-through.
Looks like that's the first one outside of the state of Iowa. The music's playing, which means that we have to stop talking. Everything else on our list, we will just simply bump to next week's show. But with that, we hope you have a great weekend. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction, Dingman's Collision Center, and Cheer Athletics. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on a Nebraska Superstation News Radio 1110 KFAB.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.